Bruh, I did not expect this to happen. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we're continuing where we left off with Weatherman. And if you're a fan of knife fights, if you're a fan of blood, stick around because it gets crazy. If you're confused or you're lost in the sauce, go check out my previous videos. Now, let's get into it because a lot took place, and I mean a lot. Okay, so we start off this issue following a man who is extremely nervous, and we see the exact reason why he is so nervous because we meet my favorite character in this whole franchise. I'm not going to say who it is, but you know who it is because you like him too, or her. He got into the car and they were supposed to be heading somewhere, but first, Metal Molly made it clear that they had to check him out first to know if he's legit. So they bound him up and put him in a chair, told him to wait and clear his mind. He was clearly very, very nervous, but they said it's okay, don't worry, it's gonna be quick. And who did they get? A psychic to scan his brain. This psychic was way more effective than the first one because she just did a quick scan and realized that he was an undercover cop. And as soon as she told him, Metal Molly was pissed off. Why do the hot ones always turn out to be dirty before blasting his brains apart? Clearly they weren't the good guys. They were the bad guys, and they were working for the man who destroyed the earth. But we see that right now they were more concerned with the person that was about to be murdered for the whole world to watch. Nathan, or should we call him Ian Black, under the operations of Pearl himself. He was put up as an object for pleasure for people to come and kill whenever they felt like. And this didn't sit well with Marshal because they had a deal. I capture him for you, and you give him to me alive. But Pearl told him straight up, shut the fuck up. You work for me, I don't work for you. You do what I tell you, I do not answer to you. If you talk to me like that again, my monster here will crush your skull. Oh, what a mistake he made. Amanda, on the other hand, was about to head out before she was stopped by who else but her ex. Apparently that's who this guy was. He wanted to know why she was willing to risk it all for this guy who she just met, who was a mass murderer. So she told him how in his mind there was a secret that could help them save the other planets that are being threatened by the sword of God. They need him alive. And so he understood and let her go, and he gave her dog tags. This is when we realized that Shorty has experience on the battlefield, and she was coming for Nathan without fear. Nathan, on the other hand, was wondering why. Why do you hate me so much? Is it because of the money? Then he looked at Nathan and said, why would you ask me such a stupid thing? I lost people on Earth too, and now I'm giving the other people the opportunity to feel and heal their pain by killing you. So shut up, because our first customer is here. And she really was here. She was a woman of God. She actually kissed Pearl and thanked him so much, claiming he was a gift from God. She had prayed for years to be able to kill the man who took her family. She lost her husband and her child. This was destiny. Amanda had to watch, and so did the world watch, as Nathan was put into this hellscape, forced to live a regular life and forced to die over and over again by a self-proclaimed woman of God. But Amanda didn't have time to be distracted. No, the bounty hunters were protecting this place, and they were coming for her. Before she knew it, she got an alert, incoming craft. She had to move quickly, dodging the attack, surviving the hailstorm of bullets coming towards her skull. And when she got the opportunity to attack, her assailants just ejected right above her head, causing her ship to be damaged, causing her to crash. Shorty was absolutely insane, but she successfully fulfilled her mission to bring down the ship. And so did Shorty's ex, because he had finally tracked down the assistant for the person who took Ian's memories. When he tried to call Amanda back, she wasn't picking up. He was worried, but he was more worried because he could sense danger. He could sense he was now a target. You don't mess with Pearl. In orbit, Marshal was getting ready. He looked at a picture of his family, the people he was doing this for. He took a quick prayer and he jumped out of his ship, heading directly for Mars. This ends today. Everything was coming to a head at the same time. Amanda was alive. The buyers were flooding in for Pearl's auction. Nathan was dying. over and over again. And Marshall was coming from orbit, shooting a rocket launcher to where he was supposed to land because shit was about to go down. Amanda was about to face the knife-wielding maniac that took her down from orbit. And Pearl was about to celebrate his victory. That's when it happened. The rocket hit the roof. Marshall came flooding through. Because you don't disrespect me and live. He split the Pearl, the most dangerous man in all of Mars, in half for everyone to see. And at the same time, Amanda and White Light got locked in combat. She took out Amanda's gun ASAP. You fight me with your dagger. And it was on. Now we all know Amanda is good, but White Light, she is better. She has been a bounty hunter for ages, both of them striking fierce and true. But Amanda has seen war. She knows anything is a weapon, including her head. But this didn't even faze White. She just grabbed a hold of Amanda and cut her leg, twisting her arm so bad she dropped her blade and kicked her in the chest. Amanda was done for. She was about to die to White. And White, she didn't waste no time. She went for the kill. But Amanda was not going to go down sad. Grabbing the wrist of White, she put her in a triangle chokehold and it was done. The match was over. But back in the base, Marshall's match was just beginning. He just split a notorious crime boss in half. Of course, his guards started to shoot back, but this was Marshall. Using his katana, he split all the bullets in half and returned fire, taking out all of the guards. And while all this was going on, Nathan was still dying over and over again as this shorty was reciting holy verses from the Bible. She is absolutely insane, but she wasn't the only one because right outside, the monster had lost his master. So he went berserk. He was looking for someone to kill, and sadly, she was in the way. He took her out, and Marshall tried to take him out, but this was a monster. He was a literal weapon. He held Marshall down and was about to crush his skull when he heard a large boom. The monster was dead, and right above him stood our Queen Amanda. She came forth and said, I understand your pain, but you cannot kill that man. We need him to save planets. Marshall didn't jack it at first, but he was a man of honor. The people deserve their revenge. He deserves his revenge. But right now, there were planets to save. He could get his revenge after. But you see, they must have forgotten Nathan was literally dying, and the human brain could not survive that many deaths. They needed to get him out of there, especially because he was starting to see stuff. He was starting to remember stuff. The only way to bring him out of it was to make him remember more. And we see he remembers a lot more than we think he does. He remembers his time as Ian the Killer. He wasn't always a killer. He was put to protect the borders of his land. And when he saw people approaching, he gave all the others just straight up obliterated the vehicle. He didn't feel nice taking life. He felt it was genocide. But his fellow soldiers, well, they saw it as mercy. When he finally came to, only Amanda was happy he was alive. So she took him away from the ship and took him into her custody. Her day wasn't done. She interviewed the assistant of the scientist that took his memories. She wasn't playing. Tell me where she is now or get a bullet in your brain. And he was like, yeah, I'll tell you. And Nathan also showed support that he was down to do whatever. But the thing is, he was a changed man. All that death he had experienced changed him fundamentally. But more on that later. Right now, she had to work with the bounty hunters, especially because White wanted to kill her on sight. Thankfully, Marshall stopped her before she could. But Garen thought it would still be cool to talk shit to Marshall. He must have not known who Marshall was. Amanda, being the only one focused, set the coordinates because where they were headed to, they thought they would never go back to. They were heading for Earth, the dead planet.